using good hip pressure on his hips or chest pressure on his back. If his hands are coming up to push his chest up, I have chest pressure. If he starts to bring his hips up, I have hip pressure. So we're adjusting to make sure it's hard for him to build up. And all I'm doing is changing the point of pressure. And then as I'm throwing this leg in, I just make sure I'm right at that knee. This knee slides up. My toe points to create a ramp. And my ramp should be above where my leg is hooking. And I'm gonna pull with my heel while I shoot with this leg. Right here, driving. He comes up, pull, shoot. Now my leg is way too deep, right? So as I come on top really quickly, I'm forcing this right hip on his hips, slide it up shallow, right hip, drop my chest. That allows me to get this in without dropping my leg way down. Keeping my leg way up, drop my chest, hips in. And then asking that partner, can you get your right hand up? So Ivan making sure he can't build up, whatever it is. And then really quickly, my heel comes in, my knee has to come up, and I'm going to turn my hips, pull this leg, and shoot this leg deep. And before he can bring his hips up, this is something that doesn't happen too often. I'm gonna actually slide my knee high. When you're riding legs on a flat wrestler, you want the least amount of shoe showing. That allows your hips to get high and have immense pressure. The less power you have. So you'll see wrestlers get in here and get a leg ride like this. Josue, how much pressure do you feel right now on you? Is there a lot? It's like there's some, because I'm still powerful hips, but there's not going to be as much as he's going to feel in a second. No matter what I do right here, if I can get my knee to slide up towards his armpit and my shoe shallow here, and then start to drop my chest and get this figure four, now how much pressure do you feel, Josue? You guys see the difference? To move from here, okay? So the keys when you're showing your athletes are making sure they understand. Just show the sole here, just the bottom of your foot, knee is high. What I found is athletes then leave their hips back and they watch what happens. They try to figure four, and when they figure four, they do that. You see my legs slid down? I just lost everything that I did, and I don't have the pressure because my hips can only be right here, and I want them up here. So here's the key. When they're doing this, in order to get your right knee underneath your foot, I have to actually, I can't lift my heel right now. I have to drop my chest. Do you guys see what happened to his leg? I just make myself a rebar and just lift by dropping my chest. I can't lift my leg like that. I just drop. I can slide my knee underneath. I can slide my knee underneath, and then my hips come up high, and my leg didn't slide down his knee, and I keep this leverage. Okay, when you get here, this is where I'm just gonna go over two basic moves that can be here. And high school wrestlers love this because you're just gonna be mean. You're gonna be mean and dirty and use your fists on them and just mess up their face illegally, and they love it, okay? So, you good? You good, warm? I'm here, I got my heel nice and shallow, hips are way up high, and his right knee, I asked my guys, can you bring your right knee up? Can you bring your right knee up? There's no shot. I'm chilling right now. So here's the other thing. One more thing to mention is some athletes will go here. If I put my chest here, his body stops me from getting leverage. So if they ever are able to bring their right knee up, bring your right knee up. So you can bring it up, bring it back down, bring it back down. You have to take your chest out into open space. And now I have a lot of leverage, okay? So where you get it is not right here, it's right here a little bit. Do you feel that? So just know it's okay to be right here. Just make sure your hand is by his head. If you do this is where they can actually turn into you. He'll roll into me now and different things can happen and we're wrestling. As long as I have my chest over space, dropping chest low. And now from here, what I do is I need to get this hand deep. Because I'm kind of far away, right? It's a shallow hand. I want to get deep. So I'm going to beat his hips with my hips, and that's going to allow me to then use my hands. So from here, how I beat his hips, as I arch my hips in, I plant this shoe on the mat, right behind his butt. I arch, plant the shoe on the mat, right behind his butt, and I use this hand to pull my chest right over it. So I went from slightly outside to now we're vertical, and I'm right over the top. Hips are in, foot is planted. Get your left hip to the mat for me, this way. Positional power right now is what I have. And now I'm close to his head where I can do all the work that I want to take him to his back, okay? So I'm right here, I ask him, okay, foot is planted, my chest is over it, bring your hips to the mat. Not gonna happen. If I ever feel like he starts to get it to the mat, I just move my body a little bit down and use proper position and have more power. But take the candy. Okay, so this hand here, I can't get it. I can just Pez dispenser his head. Right at the forehead, he'll leave it down, just Pez dispenser, and then I have to rip my hand out, and then before it comes back, beat it. And then I can take him through and arch in. So he's gonna be strong. Don't let me